Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about setting up your throttle cut on the FlySky. What I've done is I've gone through and I've added a sticker to each one of my items here that I like to use. I've got myself a label maker, and I add a picture of that here in a minute. But I basically added those up here because they're a lot easier to read than what they have here on their on the actual switches. For their switch A, switch B, etc., because of all the extra shading and scratch marks they have noted on here. Or I guess it's the background. But whatever they use on FlySky, they just need to make these back plates. If you're listening, anybody from FlySky, these should just be a light gray color with black ink. They shouldn't have this dark gray swatch that goes through here, because you can't read any of the text in a lot of these areas of what the keys are for the buttons and so forth. But for each one of your models, you can obviously select a different model. I'm currently on model number 3. But for each one of your models, you'll want to be setting this up and making sure it's set, because you can have different settings for each one of your models. So I'm going to show you how to do this straight from scratch on here. So all you'll have to do is you go up here to your select button, and this here is the cancel button, but it also acts as your not just your selection, because it's kind of strange the way they do this, but whenever you're actually wanting to enter the selection, you'll have to push the cancel button and hold it until there's a high-pitched beep, and that'll actually enter your item into the memory of the radio. So let's bounce over here to what we're wanting to look at. So holding down the selection, you'll get to system and setup. So where we're going to go, the system is where you have to select which model you want to be on, and I can show you that real quick. So we'll select that, and model select obviously is where I went to change this. But if we hit the select button again, here it is, and then you would just go up or down to select that and change the name. And obviously, as you can see, it lets you put in up to 20, I believe. Yeah, 20 models you can have in here. So for the price of this radio, being able to store 20 different model settings is awesome. As you can see, my Ranger's in here for one, my P-51 and 2, model number 3 is in here. I haven't got my other planes in here yet, but I will get some of those in here. But for 20 planes, I mean, you know, if you're going to have 300 planes or something, you know, I can understand you maybe getting the something like a higher end Spectrum or something like that that can store a lot of models. But if you're not going to have that many, I mean, this I think works for the average modeler who's going to maybe at the most have 20 aircraft at a time that they're going to be switching between. This is perfect for them. So again, once you get to the model you're on, you're basically going to have that set. So we can get out of this, and to get out of it, you're basically just going to hold it down. We're going to then jump over to the setup, and by that we're just going to hit the up or down key, and it'll switch over to the screen. Then of course we hit the select button, and now we're into these functions here for that. And you can see we have reverse, endpoints, display, auxiliary channels, subtrim, dual rate, and expo. And then we'll scroll down through these. And okay, so this is the second screen here. And as you can see, it's throttle, curve, mixes, elevon, V-tail, assigned switches, and throttle hold. And down where we want to go to is the assigned switches. And we're going to first click on that. I know you see throttle hold down below there. I know we're talking about throttle hold, but we have to assign that to a switch first. So we'll go into there and we'll hit the select. Now, if you notice, throttle hold's number 3. Fly mode, if you're setting up your dual rates, that's where your fly mode will be set up at, is that, and you would be setting these there. Throttle hold, you'll go down to there, so we'll select, oops, excuse me, not select. This is where some of these items are strange. You have to hit this select button to actually switch through. Normally it's your up and down to scroll down through these. Sometimes for some reason you have to hit this the select button to scroll down through the items, and then you'll use the arrows here to set it up. So it's saying switch D. I want it to be on switch A, which is this one right up here, which is what I've already got labeled as my throttle cut or throttle setup. So then once I have that set, I then want to we're going to go back. So first I have to save that. And in order to save it, I have to hold in the A, or the cancel button, excuse me. And so then now we go down to throttle hold. And we'll hit the select button again. Now the hold off, notice whenever I flip this, it says active and inactive. So we want to turn the hold on. And then we're going to change the value. So we're going to need to hit the select button to switch down to value. And we're going to change that to 0%. So what we want this to be is when the hold is on, we want it to be at 0%. Throttle hold on is going to be 0%. So when it's active, the throttle hold will be at 0%. So if you notice when I'm flipping the switch again, there, throttle cut 0. Active is what it's going to be, 0%. So that's how you set that up. Now, in order to save that, again, you have to, once we set this down to 0, you have to hold in that cancel button until you get that. It'll bounce out of that screen and bounce back to the main screen. And you'll get the high pitch beep. So now it should be set up. The way to check that, always go back and double check that it saved your settings. If you click on that, there you go. See, hold on 0%. So then just to get out of that, you just tap that and it'll bounce you back out, the cancel button. So we can go now back through all of this. We can exit out of all this by hitting the cancel button. Okay, so now the throttle cut is set up for this particular model number 3. Okay, so now that we have the throttle cut set up, we can do a quick check to verify if it's working using another one of the features of the radio. So you'll need to go into Setup, scroll down to Display, and select it. It'll bring up a linear display of all the channels on the radio. And you'll see here, once I get that pulled up here, when I move the throttle, you'll notice it's showing the throttle going up and down. Mine's set on channel 3. Yours may be on a different channel. If so, you'll need to consult the owner's manual. But notice the throttle cut switch, when I flip it, now the it's switching it down to 0, even though the throttle was at 100%. So this is an important feature for safety, obviously, when you have electric aircraft, because it'll help prevent accidents with that. So yeah, you'll notice that even if I move the switch up and down and so forth, it's still cutting the throttle at 100%. Okay, I just want to thank you all again for watching, and I would like to say, if you have any questions or ideas for future videos, feel free to leave a comment regarding those items. If you have found this video to be helpful, please like and subscribe, as I will be providing more videos in the future. And if you provide your feedback on that, it will be helpful. So thanks again, and see you all next time.